Hey guys, it's Phil. I'm doing a project for my Humanities 101 class. After I get through with the intro, we'll be back here and we can talk some more about it. Sappho was born on the Isle of Lesbos that was native to Greece to a family of aristocrats. Scholars exclaimed that it was her wealth that made her life so easygoing. This, however, cannot be stated as fact. The Isle of Lesbos held their women in such high esteem they had vastly different lives from most women of ancient Greece. Back then, Sappho had an easygoing lifestyle due to that, mainly, and her own unique personality. There isn't too much known about Sappho's early childhood or even her teens. There is, however, descriptions of her adulthood, but nothing after that. Even her death is a mystery. While she was alive, she was known for quite a few things. She learned to play the lyra at a young age, which is a small harp with differentiating sounds. She was exiled twice to Sicily for having differentiating political views. She became famous enough to have statues erected in her honor, and at a later date after her death, coins were minted with her face on them. But on top of everything else, she was the first female poet. It is through her poetry that it is heavily hinted that Sappho was lesbian. The first female poet being lesbian did not sit well with scholars, however. Scholars would argue that taking her words to heart would be misleading. They would also refer to the Athenian poet Homer. Homer wrote a very detailed description of the Battle of Troy, which he was not a part of. So, if Homer could write details of a battle that he did not take place, why could Sappho not write about love that she was not fond of? That idea can be countered, however, with the belief that writing about love is different than writing about a battle. The feeling of love can best be described after experiencing it, some would say. So Sappho's poems, which were mostly about love, must have come from her own experiences and her own heartache, some would say. Alright guys, and we're back, and from what you saw in the beginning, Sappho was a very love-oriented person. She loved to love. And from the text that we read, the poetry of Sappho, it's basically fragmented versions of her work. It seems to be multiple short stories, but they all seem to have meaning to me. And we're going to just get right into it. Now, the first poem is her calling out to Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love and wisdom. And it starts off with her just flattering Aphrodite, like bathing her in compliments, song. It's basically, she's kind of describing how good she looks, in a way. And remember, Sappho was a lesbian, so there's that. But she's basically enticing Aphrodite to come help her once again with love that she's lost. And it comes off as a bit desperate, kind of, because when Aphrodite comes down, she doesn't actually seem upset that she's being called again, but she just gives her a smile and goes, who am I going to help you with now? Who is it this time, she says. Who has wronged you now? And it seems like she's friends with Sappho at this point. Now, again, this is a poem, so this may be just Sappho's interpretation of how she views Aphrodite treating her. But apparently Sappho has loved a lot, like a lot. And I don't technically believe that the gods themselves would come down to anyone just to keep doing something over and over again. It does become kind of silly. But apparently Sappho has been in love so much and has fallen out of love with, well, not her herself, but have had other people fall out of love with her, that it's gotten to a point where she believes that, well, she doesn't believe, she wants everything just to go her way now. So Sappho asks Aphrodite to get rid of all her want and just give her everything she wants. And she says, all my heart desires to happen, make it happen. This doesn't even seem like a question at this point. She just wants this. It's like a command. And it appears that she's trying to command love, or like take over love. And that to me seems kind of brazen. It has a brazen audacity to it, but it also feels like you don't understand the concept of love if you have to command for it to happen. If you keep having people fall out of love with you, maybe it doesn't, like, I think she doesn't technically fully understand the concept at this point, because she's not even asking, she's commanding for love from a goddess that she believes is her friend because she keeps gaining love. I don't think she understands how love works at this point. So she asks Aphrodite to make it happen, and she asks her to stand by her side as an ally. Now, that again seems kind of like, it seems like she's kind of losing touch on reality here, because you can't ask a god to be your ally in something that you're commanding them to do. it's either you're above them or you're below them at that point. And apparently, she believes that she can command love, or she needs to command love to be happy with, like, her life, basically. So I don't think she loves herself enough, or she loves herself at all, really, when it comes to this concept of love. Now, her second poem is kind of reverberates to actual, like, more traditional love. Like, the second poem is of her asking the god Cyprus and the Nereids, or the water nymphs, to bring back her brother, like, bring him home from his voyage. Apparently he has lost his way and he has gone to repent. So she's asking them to bring him back for that reason. Now, that's something that seems more like traditional brotherly sister love. That seems more basic, you know. So this one I don't have much problems with. I think I think it's more of she has a problem with romantic love, because if you have to command Aphrodite to, like, make it happen, then you're technically not the right person for love in my head. But it does stem on the fact that she has deep love for her family, because this is her brother we're talking about. She offers them offerings, gifts, and stuff in exchange for his safe return. It seems more tame, basically, and it seems like her family was basically the normal part of her life. So the third poem goes back to just the crazy Sappho to me. I mean, I shouldn't call her crazy, but it's more of the untamed Sappho. She doesn't, like, understand it per se very much. So this is on her brother's mistress, Dorica, which and just a quick backdrop to the introduction. Women weren't seen as, like, an equal back then, so men were basically the end all be all and stuff like that. Now, with her poem, it's basically her going overboard with trying to keep her brother's mistress away from her brother. And it's basically just to hurt the mistress. She wants Dorica to see the love that she's missing and stuff like that. So she's basically punishing the woman for loving someone else. But if you recall back in the first poem, the person that didn't love her, she wants to force them to love her, because, it just works that way for her, apparently. But it actually stems on the fact that she doesn't understand romantic love. And I'm not really sure if anyone posed her these questions back then of understanding, because I guess people didn't really care. But the fact that men could do whatever they want back then, and they basically controlled the woman back then, it was kind of interesting to see her try to punish someone, and maybe it was her brother's, like, fault, or her brother's start for that I'm sorry, for that start of a relationship with the Dorka person. Maybe he wanted it, and he just never told anyone. I mean, it raises a lot of questions, but that's just her, really. She then does speak on something that does hit home with me. She relates this situation she doesn't relate. But she speaks on a certain situation, which was when Helen of Troy betrayed her family and country for love of someone else, and was aptly punished for it. Now, I get it. I get it to an extent, but you can't technically control who you love. So again, I think this is going back to her not understanding, like, the full concept of love, or having feelings, or something like that. I can't really articulate it right now, but I'm pretty sure if I say it like 4 times, it must be repetitive. But that's what it is to me. So Sappho's understanding of love, in my understanding, is clouded. She's kind of screwy in some places. Her family is her most important. It's like, I think her family is her most important, like connection. I mean, she shows normal love, understanding love, and she's willing to sacrifice other things of her own just to, like, get her brother to come home safely. So that's good. That's nice. But when it comes to romantic love, she's not altogether there. She wants what she wants, or if it's like someone wrongs someone else, or well, not someone else, if someone wrongs her family, that person should be punished instead of actually like looking at the situation and trying to assess it. But I don't think that was like the goal back then, so I can't really say that it's her fault. It's more of like an upbringing thing. But it goes back to what I was saying about her love being a bit just screwy, and I think it's just a lapse in judgment at that point. But that was her third story. Her next two stories are just short fragmented ones, and they seem kind of normal to me. They're romantic loves, but they're just her calling out to the people that she wants. One, she wants someone to play lyra for her, which is the small harp thing I talked about in the beginning, and the other one she just wants to see. So that's about it for the reading. I do want to pose a question though. From me reading, like I read this through and through, and by this I mean the text and stuff. What? Okay, I'm not really sure how to word, so I'll do the best I can. But do you think her concept of love is the same as it is now? Like, do you think her concept of love is something that we noticed in today's world? Like, as I said, I think she's a little crazy, and obviously there are crazy people out there, but I don't think that's love controlling them. I think that's them not knowing how to cope with situations that they're in. I'm not sure what situations Sappho was in. Maybe I'm going like far left and not thinking it through, but I believe that since she was so famous and she was recognized and she was an icon back then, I wonder if people ever thought to question her, like, do you think that you're doing the right thing in these poems? I mean, I get that some are just poems and stuff like that, and maybe that they aren't related of her life, but I think that most of her poems are actually related to the stuff that she has gone through, So, that, and I don't really think that our lifestyle mixes with theirs in like maybe 90% of the ways. So that's why I'm asking, do you think her concept of love is kind of related to, are they related to our world now, basically? I mean, everything comes from the past, sure, but do you think everything about love came back from then, or has it evolved over the years? So let me know what you guys think. Actually, just don't show it. Professor, you can ask me, you can answer this question if you want to, just don't show it to anyone else, please. Anyway, that's it. Later.